Hello and welcome to my channel Crafting with Shuttermonkey. I'm Amanda, also known as Shuttermonkey, and I live in Ayrshire on the west coast of Scotland with my husband and my cat. Both of my children are both grown up now and they've both left home. They're not far away. My daughter's over in Glasgow. She's only about a 30-minute drive away and she's really close to the city centre. She's loving life there just now. And my son is only 15 minutes away in the opposite direction from my daughter. But he's quite close by, which is good because he's got kids as well, so I get to see the grandkids quite often too. Today is Tuesday the 24th of October and this is episode number 32. I know, it's hard to believe, it's not even been a full 2 weeks and here I am back again with another episode. I have a couple of things to show you today. I have progress in one of my knitting whips. I've got a new cast on, a wee bit of progress on my crochet, and I've got some really cool patchwork and quilting to show you, as well as some acquisitions as well from Glasgow School of Yarn. So let's just jump right in to the knitting section, okay? And the first thing I've got to show you today is my leaf cardigan. Here we go. Oh my goodness, that looks amazing. So 2 weeks ago, when I showed you this, I had just finished the back. Now, I don't know if you can see this here. See the intarsia where I've twisted my yarn? Just entwined it round to stop a gap forming here. The first half of the back is quite neat, but the second half, it's more so on the cream stitches, the first cream stitch or the last cream stitch. It's a wee bit untidy, and I wonder if you can see it on the screen. It was driving me nuts when I was knitting the back of the cardigan that it was so untidy. So I actually, I steam blocked and I tidied up the stitches and steam blocked it. So I noticed that in the last video, the first half actually looks quite tidy and the second half doesn't. But it's because I haven't tidied up the stitches on that bit. I got halfway through the back and I had to deal with it. Every time I looked at the front of the back piece, I'm like, oh, those untidy stitches are really annoying me. And I tidied it up. But that is, let me get this right, that's summer and this is autumn. And this is spring and this is winter. Oh, I'm really pleased with how that's looking. Now, I haven't sewn in any of my ends or anything yet. I haven't even stitched up the side seams. But what I have done today is I've just used quilting pins and I've pinned it together to give you more of the effect to how the cardigan's going to look, because if I had left it just the front piece hanging down, it was rolling because it's stocking stitch, because it hasn't been blocked yet. I just love how that looks on that screen. I'm sorry, I'll just sit here for the next 10 minutes and look at my cardigan. But this is an advent calendar from Beehive Yarns. It was her advent calendar from last year, 2022, and it was a year at the cabin. I bought it in DK weight, and I actually bought it this year. I bought it in 2023 because yarn dyers usually release their advent calendars after the festive season's buy with, and you can buy it again. This one was actually released in 4 parts, which it made it feel that wee bit more affordable because you don't have to buy it all in one go. I bought it in 4 different parts over the year, and I'm really delighted with it. It's not even finished and I'm so happy with it. So the cream yarn is Rowan Pure Wool Superwash is the double knitting weight. I actually found it in Wool Warehouse. It was reduced to £3 a ball. I've used it in the past and I love it. I'm so pleased with how that's looking. Really, I'm delighted with it. I think the last time I showed you, I'd just finished the back and I'd just cast on the rib of the first front. But that's the 2 fronts are done. And I have also been working on one of the sleeves. So here is one of the sleeves. Now you can see that I've changed the width of my stripes. I wanted to get all of the spring colours and all of the summer colours into one sleeve. And I tried on my cardigan, and I think the pattern says your sleeve length should be about, was it 15 inches? 14 to 15 inches. But I tried on my cardigan when I'd finished the 2 fronts. And I then I pulled where the shoulder would fall to, and then I let an inch tape drop from the just from the edge of the shoulder, where the shoulder lay, and it said I needed about 22 inches. So must be just because I've got a wee bit of length. My gauge was off as well, so I know the cardigan size that I'm doing is slightly smaller. So I've actually knitted this sleeve to 20 inches in length. Just because it's all superwash wool, I thought, well, maybe it'll grow and stretch a wee bit. And also when I block the body of the cardigan, it might grow a wee bit as well. Love it. I absolutely love it. And I just think that is going to look so nice. I'll have to get my cardigan in again. That is to go on this side here. So this sleeve is for over on that side. And then the autumn winter sleeve will come on this side where the summer and spring front and back are. I just love it. Love it, love it, love it. So I've actually only used about 12 grams of yarn. Some of them I've only used about 10, depending on where the stripes are, because if the stripes are at the bottom of the sleeve, obviously you're going to use less yarn in that stripe than you do at the top, where once you've completed all your increases. So I've got about 10 to 12 grams, and I've actually finished using all the spring summer colours. I've actually still got this one attached because I thought, I don't know whether I need to cast off this sleeve and sew it into place, or whether I just cut. So obviously I would need more yarn then to cast it off, and then a wee bit of yarn for the sewing it into place, or I might need to add another bit of cream. I might have to add one more cream stripe. I'm going to get that back and front piece blocked, and then try it on properly once it's blocked, just to see where that shoulder drops down to, so I can check my sleeve length. So I've left that wee one attached just now, just in case, and I've just slipped it onto a straight needle. But I really, I'm enjoying working on it so much. I have made a start on the second sleeve. Oh, so there we go. That's the second sleeve so far. This is the autumn colours. And then obviously I'll keep going and move into the winter. But this is the needles that I'm actually using to knit the main body of the garment. And these are Knit Pro Royales. I have a set of these, and it's the 4mm size. For the rib, it's 3.75. And I am knitting the 5th size. My gauge was ever so slightly off, so the 5th size won't be as big as it should be. It will be slightly smaller. I didn't want a really big, oversized, baggy cardigan. I wanted something that was it was neater fitting. Because with it being superwash, it might grow a wee bit and stretch, so I'm hoping it'll be baggier then once it grows a bit. So this is all the yarns that I have in here. These are all leftover now. And I thought, well, I don't really want to just pack it away. I did keep the little bags that it all came in. And I thought, well, I don't really want to pack it away because what am I going to use it for? So I think what I'm going to do, now that I'm finished with all these spring summer colourways, there's only one more to come in this. No, sorry, it goes in there, down at the bottom. And it's that colour that's still attached. But I think I'm going to try knitting a cowl with this. Just a plain stocking stitch cowl. Now, you know the Litmus cowl by Stranded Dye Works, and it's just a stocking stitch tube, and you're knitting it in the round. I did have a wee look at that, but that's for 4-ply weight, and I did try to look at how long a scarf I would get, because I've got about 100. I think I'll have 110 grams once I add that other wee leftover in, and I'm going to have the same in the autumn winter box as well. And I just thought it would be really nice to carry on knitting this, but continue the colours, and you'll see on a cowl, you'll see the full circle of the colours. I just thought that would be quite nice. I'm not a big fan of scarves or cowls, but depending on how baggy it is, because if I get things too close around my neck, I just feel a wee bit like I can't breathe. I feel like I'm choking a little bit. I don't like things really like polo necks and things like that. And I always find when I get with scarves and cowls on that I get all wrapped up for winter when it's really cold, and I get to the end of the street and the hat's off, the gloves off, the scarf's off, and it's in my bag. And that's the way I am for the rest of the time that I'm out. So depending on how tight it is, if it doesn't sit well on me, if it's too close to my neck, I could give it to my daughter. She would wear it, I think. She wears a lot of scarves and shawls and things that I've made her over the years. She does wear them when she's out. So And it would be a good way to use up those leftovers as well, wouldn't it? I don't want to stick them back in my stash. I would rather see them getting used. The next stage that I have to do, after I finish that sleeve, the next stage is doing the button band. And I've actually just got it all pinned together, and I pinned the front closed as well, just so you can see more the shape of it to stop it curling. But for the button band, it's a double knit button band. Now, I've never knitted a double knit button band before, and it's not complicated, it's not hard to do. And the pattern suggests that you have a wee practice and block it. And I did, and I didn't like it. So what I did was I ripped it back out. So, and this is my second wee swatch, my second wee sample of the button band. It's actually that wee. But what I tried to do with this one, I slipped on this side, the slip stitches. Are they at the beginning or the end? Oh, I've forgotten. There is a slip stitch at this end and a slip stitch at that end. This end I've slipped it knitwise. This end I've slipped it purlwise. Now I really like on this end here, I like that slipping it knitwise. I think it gives me a nicer edge, but visually it doesn't look very nice. Although it's not all distorted out of shape. I feel like this side is pushing out. And I feel like the slip stitch, when I've slipped it purlwise, is a wee bit untidy. I've also practiced with my buttonhole. Now, there's 6 repeats on the buttonhole, and that was way too big, because I think I'm going to put more buttons on my cardigan than the pattern suggests. So I did reduce it, and I've only repeated it 4 times, and I still think it's quite a big buttonhole, and it's quite loose. I feel like this side sticks out. I need to practice a wee bit more with this, but that kind of worries me, because we all know how many whips I've got. Let's be honest here. And if I have to practice a button band and find the finish that I like, how long is it going to lie for? I could put it away for a day or two and say I'm going to practice that button band tomorrow, and the next thing 3 months have passed. So I think what I'm actually going to do is I'm just going to go up the first front, pick up all the stitches, go across the back neck, and then come down the other front and pick up all the stitches that I need to pick up, and I'm going to knit that button band out the way. And I'll put my buttonholes where I need them to be. I'm not going to get fancy buttons either. I'm just going to get some plain cream buttons. I was actually wondering whether to put 9 buttons on it and just put them, see, in the middle of every stripe. It might be too much, but I'll try it. But it'll just be really plain buttons. They'll just be small cream ones, or maybe even mother of pearl, something like that. I did see some really nice buttons at the weekend by a company called Ethel and Joan. They were at Glasgow School of Yarn, and the buttons were, they were so pretty. But I think because of all the colours and everything that's going on in the cardigan, it doesn't really need fancy buttons to compete with it. It's a bit like the crochet cardigan I was doing. Just let the yarn do the talking and let the buttons just blend into the background. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just pick up the stitches all round about, and I'm going to knit that button band on, knit it out the way, rather than doing my double knit button band. If I change my mind in 3 months' time, 4 months' time, because I'm looking at other people's cardigans and thinking theirs is much nicer than mine, I like their button band better, I will keep a ball of yarn and I can practice later. I just do not want this cardigan landing in my whip pile and being forgotten about for 3 weeks, 3 months, 3 years. Who would know? But if I change my mind later on, I can practice again. I want a finished garment to wear this autumn and winter, and I'm so close to having it finished if I just keep going. So no excuse for delays. So the only other thing I've got to show you in the knitting section is a new cast on, and it's the sock. Now, do you remember last month I showed you one of the yarns that I purchased at the Scottish Yarn Festival? It was actually called the Scottish Yarn Festival 23 by Amo Yarns. Well, I got it caked up. It's just sitting here in my little yarn cake holder that I bought during Knitty Natty Sock Week. And here's the sock. Oh wow. It does look nice, doesn't it? So this is going to be for my husband. I did tell you last time that the poor wee soul needs socks. So I really love the way that yarn is colouring and it's swirling round. It's not what I expected, and I'm not very good at reading skeins of yarn and planning ahead and thinking what they're going to look like. But I really, really like it. And he's quite happy with it too, so that's the main thing. So that is my only other cast on. It's just a large size sock. I've used my Scoosh toe-up pattern. And again, like the socks I showed you last time, well, it's just knit 6, purl 2 on the instep. And I've made sure that that knit 6, purl 2 is centred into the middle of the instep as I'm working. Really, really pleased with this. And I'm going to try and get this one sock finished before I next speak to you. Really, really pretty, isn't it? Oh, one thing I did forget to say to you, I'm using 2.25mm needles. That is usually the size of needles that I stick with when I'm knitting socks. It's 2.25s. Unless I'm using West Yorkshire Spinners yarn, then I have to come up to 2.5. But I love it. It's really, really pretty. So let's move on to the crochet section. And it's just a tiny, tiny little bit of progress on my crochet doll. She doesn't even have her body and her head finished yet. Now, I know last time that I recorded an episode 2 weeks ago, just under 2 weeks ago, I said to you that I'd started this. I got up to about here, to her belly. I only worked on it for an hour. And the plan is to work on it for an hour a day. But the other plan was to get a photograph of it every day after I'd worked on it for an hour. And then after a month, or when the doll was finished, whatever happens sooner, I would put together a little video. I'd put all these photographs together and it would like a little progress. You know the type of video I mean. You get the little apps on your phone that you can put 30 seconds a day over the course of a month, and it gives you a nice little 30-second video at the end of the month. And I hadn't taken that photograph. So I've decided, nah, I'm not doing that anymore, just get the doll done. And I looked it back out yesterday, and I was quite surprised to see that she'd been lying for 3 weeks. The 2nd of October I started it, and yesterday was the 23rd, and I haven't touched her in 3 weeks. So that idea of taking a photograph every day is out the window. Just get the doll crocheted. So I did work on it yesterday. I've not done anything to it today, but I will get my hour in daily, and next time you will see a wee bit of progress on her. And the only other thing I've done for this doll is some little eyes. So when I get up further up this head, I need to put wee eyes in. And the reason that they're sitting on pegs, it was regular safety eyes that Toft sell, just the little doll safety eyes. They come in this standard black colour, or they also come in, I think they come in blue and green and brown for regular eye colour, and I think they also do yellow and red. So if you're doing birds or animals or some of the Halloween dolls, you can have the red ones for them. But I just bought the regular standard Toft eyes, and I've painted them with nail varnish. And it's just this colourway here. It's Spotlight Shine. I don't even know. That's what it says in the front. Spotlight Shine. I picked it up when I was in Tesco's, and the colourway is Maldives. I saw someone on the Toft Addicts group on Facebook had made the Statue of Liberty doll, and they painted some eyes. Now, the nail varnish that they used was a really, really close colour to this sage colourway that Toft have put in this kit. Mine is a wee bit off, but you know what? It's better than black eyes. It'll be nicer than this. The black eyes will stand out quite a lot. So that's what I spent a wee bit of this morning doing. Don't ask me why. I managed to ruin one of the eyes, and I had to take it off with nail varnish remover and do it again. And then it still didn't work, and I've had to use a third eye. I don't know what happened to that one. Maybe there was something in the glaze over the eye, but it was making the nail varnish bubble almost. And that's why they're sitting on wee pegs, because I needed something to prop them up on. I didn't have polystyrene or anything like that. So hopefully next time you see my dolly, she will have eyes. And I've been using the standard 3mm hook that I always use for my Toft toys. I am a really tight crocheter. All my Toft makes always end up smaller than the recommended size. But I like the fact that it's quite tight and you can't see any of the stuffing through, because I do tend to overstuff my dolls as well. They're quite firm. They're not as floppy as Kerry's dolls. but it's a 3mm hook and I am quite a tight crocheter. And that is all the crochet that I've got to show you today. I know it isn't much, considering the amount of Toft kits that I buy. You think I would be crocheting a lot more. Maybe next time I'll have more of that dolly to show you. So let's move on to the patchwork and quilting section now, and I actually do have some sewing to show you today. A couple of months ago I bought some Halloween fabric online to make myself the new quilt along. It's a quilt along by Fat Quarter Shop, and I did show you this a couple of months ago. It was maybe so long ago that you've forgotten about it, but it was this little quilt here, and it is called Haunted Halloween, and it was a quilt along they were doing. I think it was back in July, and I finally looked the fabric out and made a start in my blocks. So here's the first block here. Oh wow, that looks really good on the screen. So this is the haunted house, obviously. And to go along with that, now this is quite a big block. I think it's 15.5 by 11.5 it finishes at. And the next one that I made was the cat. I really like how this one's turned out. I wasn't planning on using this fabric for the cat. I was planning on using that black fabric that I've used for the house, but I had a wee bit of disaster with the house, and I'll show you that in a little minute. But this was an alternative fabric, and I'm really pleased with how it came out. And the third block is the bat. These are looking really nice. I think it's the colours. It's the really dark grey and the pinks together. It's really working. I really love it. That house block was my second attempt at it. I had a totally different picture in mind for making that house block, the haunted house, and I'm not sure if it worked. I think it's too busy. So let me show you my first attempt at the house. I wanted a big pink house. I wanted a big pink haunted house with dark windows and a dark roof. I don't know if I think it's the fabrics are just too busy. There's too much going on. It hasn't really worked the way I envisioned it in my head. I bought the fabrics, and when they arrived, I looked at them and I thought, oh, that print's a bit bigger than I thought it was going to be. It'll be fine, it'll still work. And I looked about yesterday and I thought, that's not going to work. It's too much print on it. But I was a bit stubborn and no, just try it. But no, it hasn't worked. It's not what I wanted. I know some people might love it, but it's not what I was after. I don't know if it would have maybe worked better if I'd had this dark fabric with the pink pumpkins on it as the house and the ghosts in the windows. But I was only planning on making one block yesterday, and this didn't work out. And I kind of went into a wee bit of a panic, and I'm thinking, oh, I wonder if I've got enough fabric, because now I need to change the plan. And do I have enough fabric? So I looked out the black fabric that I had for the cat and the bat, and I cut the bat out. I didn't sew them together, but I did get them cut out. So I knew I had the black fabric that I needed for him. And then I thought I need to come up with a substitute for the cat. I did have enough fabric to do the house and the bat from this one black colour, but then I didn't know what to put in the windows, and I actually bought, it was a remnant of this I found on Etsy, and I only had enough to do my backing. The quilt only finishes at about 31.5 inches square, and I had, the length of it was about 35 inches. But the width was a wee bit wider, so I had about 10 inches off the side that I could cut off, and I was able to fussy cut these little windows. I'm really pleased with how it turned out doing it a second time, but it's a lot nicer now. It's more to my taste. So there's only one haunted house, there's the one cat, and there's the one bat, and I was worried about my cat, so that's why I did that yesterday as well. And I got the cat finished, and I'm really pleased with how that turned out with that black fabric with the pumpkins on it. It's quite nice. I do like that one. I think that's better than I thought it would be, actually. And then I've got my little bat. So the only other thing that I need to do now is there are, where is it? Over this side. It's there's 2 wee stars there and there's 3 stars here. So what I'll do is I'll go back to that ghost, the original ghost and pumpkin fabric that was on this one. And I think I'll do my stars out of that, and I'll make sure that I've got a nice big pumpkin in the centre of my star and ghosts right in the centre. I will fussy cut those out, because I've decided now that I don't want a 31.5-inch square quilt. I would like it bigger. So what I'll do now is I'll finish those stars, and then once I piece it all together, I'll put enough of the white border around the edge that it's going to finish at about 30-inch square. And then I'll use all my leftovers, all my wee bits, and I'm going to put piano keys right around the edge of it just to make it that little bit bigger. Even if I could get it maybe about to 40 inches, maybe about 40 to 42 inches, I would be happy with that. It just gives me a bigger size lap quilt. It's not a big quilt, but I think 31-inch square, it's not really big enough for me and my cat. She likes to come and snuggle with me in an evening. And that is the patchworking quilting that I've got to show you today. That is it. But I think that was the first time that I have sewn in, it's been weeks. It's been a long, long time. And I really, really enjoyed sewing yesterday. It was, once you get into the zone and you're, I need to try another block. I need to try another block. I was about 8 hours on my feet cutting and just laying out fabrics, and then running over to the sewing machine, sewing, going through to the kitchen to press. And I didn't get my dinner last night till about 9:15. But that's one of the joys of it being home alone. You can do that. There's nobody there chasing you and saying, right, you need to finish up now. It's time for dinner. Although it was a bit late, and I didn't have much for my dinner because it was so late. But I'm really happy that even though that block was the first one I felt was a bit disastrous, I got there in the end. And I've got plenty to do stars, and I think I've got plenty to make my quilt slightly bigger as well. Now that is all the patchworking quilting I've got to show you. And the only other thing to show you is some acquisitions from Glasgow School of Yarn. Over the weekend, there was a yarn festival taking place in Glasgow, and it was called the Glasgow School of Yarn. Now this festival's been running for quite a few years. I think it's been running since 2011. There was a few years they had a break because of COVID. And then there was also a period where they had a bit of a break because Antja, the lady that organises it, she had a baby. So there was a wee hiatus period while she still had a baby and a toddler. But it's back up and running now, and it has been, I think, for the past 2 years. I didn't go to it last year, and I didn't go to it 2 years ago, but I really wanted to go this year. Now, the tickets sold out just after I recorded my last episode. The tickets for the Saturday event sold out. And I thought, I don't really want to go on the Sunday. And I wasn't going to go. I decided I wasn't going to go. I had enough yarn. But on Instagram, I was watching all the images coming up. Everybody sharing their images, what they've purchased, their time at the yarn festival, whether it was people that were visiting, yarn dyers that were there. And FOMO got me. It got me. So I went online and I booked a ticket for the Sunday. And I went up for the doors opening at 11 o'clock on Sunday. Now, I set myself a budget, and I told myself I wasn't allowed to go over the budget. I also knew what I wanted to buy before I went, and I made a list of the things that I wanted to buy, and I was over budget before I even left the house. So a couple of things had to get taken off the list. So this is the bag that they were selling this year with the Glasgow School of Yarn logo on it. They usually have a Charles Rennie Mackintosh theme to them, the logos for the School of Yarn, because the first few events were held in the Mackintosh Church. Most of the yarn that I purchased at the School of Yarn event was from new dyers. New to me dyers, I should say. So the first one that I went looking for was the Lonely Knitter. It was Laura from the Lonely Knitter. And I had seen online that she had an exclusive colourway for the show. I didn't see pictures online what the yarn looked like, and I thought I'll go to her stall first because I want to see what her colourway's like and see if I like it. So this was it here. It's kind of pinks and greys and blues and speckles, and it's just lovely. It's my kind of colours, and I really, really liked it. So I bought that one. And this is the first time I've ever bought any yarn from the Lonely Knitter. And she was lovely. I got to speak to her for a couple of minutes, and she's a lovely lady. So that was the Lonely Knitter. I didn't actually say, this one is called Glasgow 2023. This one from the Lonely Knitter is Glasgow 2023. That's the colour name. Now, I then went looking for Quack yarns, because on Instagram, I saw that Quack Yarns had dyed this special colourway. Oh, I'll try and hold these up the best I can. This is My Hat is Better Than Your Hat. And it's the inspiration from it came from the Duke of Wellington statue that's in the Merchant City in Glasgow city centre. And I also bought a little mini skein. It's High Vis, this one's called. I couldn't actually get a 100 gram skein. She had sold out. She had plenty of 100 gram skeins in double knit and weight, but I wanted it in 4-ply. So she said that she had some minis as well, and she only had 3 minis left in the 4-ply. So I grabbed what I could. This is enough to do a shorty pair of socks. I took this one just in case I wanted a wee pop of colour, maybe on the heel, and I can make the socks slightly longer. I think I'm going to cast this colourway on. As soon as I've finished the Scottish Yarn Festival colourway for my husband, I think I'm going to cast this on. And now I'm wondering how I can get a photograph of me wearing my socks and the Duke of Wellington all in the one photograph. I'm probably going to have to lie down and put my feet in the air. But it's fine, it's Glasgow. Any other city in the world you probably couldn't do that, but I think I'll get away with it in Glasgow. The next mini skein bundle that I got was this one. I have bought before from Helen from Giddy Yarns, but I actually went to buy the gobstopper balls that she had. It was a self-striping skein of yarn, and it was all these colours that was in it. Now, she based her colourways on the programme and the logo that was out for this year. If you look at a bigger version of the logo, there is actually some purple flowers in it as well. But I think she's done a great job of capturing the colours. And this one is called Rennie Mackintosh Minis. I couldn't get the gobstopper ball because they were all sold out. Next time I'm going to have to go on the Saturday, because going on the Sunday, there was quite a lot gone and sold out. But I was able to get the minis. Now, I don't know what I'm going to do with the minis. I don't know if I'm going to do socks or whether I'll try and do something a wee bit more creative with all these lovely colours and see if I can maybe recreate the logo. That would be quite nice, wouldn't it? And the last purchase I made was this here. This is from For the Love of Yarn, and I haven't bought from For the Love of Yarn before. I've actually seen them online. I've seen them on social media, and I just thought they were based down in England somewhere, but she's not. She's based in Glasgow, and she has a studio. This colourway is called Brew, and it's based on one of our other national drink, which is, there we go, Iron Brew. If you're in different parts of the world, you've maybe never heard of this before, but it's lethal. If you spill this on your cream carpet, it is not coming back out. I will maybe crack open this can and pour it into a glass and let you see the colour of it, but it doesn't come out. I was on a train one day, and I'd taken a bag that a lady from Australia had made me in a swap. It was an EPP bag, and it absolutely stunning. And I was on the train, and the girl across from me was drinking a can of this, and she had it in a plastic cup, and then she spilled it all over the table. And I was grabbing my bag off the table because I thought, I don't want my knitting bag, my nice fancy knitting bag, to get covered in Iron Brew because it just won't come out. She did get my knitting pattern, that was soaked, and she was very apologetic, the poor soul. But I did save the knitting bag, thank goodness, because it would have been stained orange forever. It doesn't come out. I'm just going to quickly show you the colour of this Iron Brew, the colour that it comes out the tin. I have actually cleared all my knitting away and my patchwork away because I do not want to spill this on anything. Okay, so here we go. I've got a glass. And that is the colour of it. And you really, really don't want to spill this on anything that you are making. It stains. It doesn't come out. Bars used to actually sell a stain remover, and they sold it and it took the stains out that was left from the iron brew. But from what I've heard, the recipe was changed and they don't sell the stain remover anymore because it doesn't work on the new recipe. Anyway, I'm going to go pop this away because it is not staying in my room, and we'll get back to the yarn acquisitions. There was one other thing that I had to pre-order while I was there because I couldn't get it. They were sold out. Again, somebody was sold out on the Sunday. And it was again from For the Love of Yarn, but it was their Tunnocks colourway. And I really wanted the Tunnocks colourway. And I think you've probably all seen these before, Tunnocks tea cakes. These get exported all over the world. And I really, really wanted that colourway while I was there, because my husband is actually working for Tunnocks just now, and I thought that would be so good if I could knit him something using the Tunnocks colourway. He could wear his socks to work, couldn't he, at the tea cake factory. But I've got that one on pre-order. I could get it ordered, and I think she said she's going to dye it sometime this week and it'll come soon. So maybe next time I'll be able to show you the Tunnocks colourway. I'm going to have to eat and drink those now. They just tempting me sitting here. And that was all I bought when I was at Glasgow School of Yarn. There was the Generates Jen Hogg that was on the sewing bee I was talking about in the last episode. She had all her knitting and sewing tools with her on her stall. And I did want to buy the pattern tracker for helping you follow a chart. I think it's a great wee thing, a great wee tool. But if I bought that, I wouldn't be able to buy one of the skeins of yarn that I bought because I'd set myself a budget. So I didn't buy the pattern tracker. My thinking behind it was some of these colourways aren't going to be available after the show. So buy them while you're at the show, but you can get the pattern tracker anytime. So that's all my colourways there. It's kind of hard to hold up these minis. I'm really, really pleased with my purchases at both the Scottish Yarn Festival and at the Glasgow School of Yarn, because most of the yarn that I bought is from dyers that I've never bought from before. Because last time I bought from Amo Yarns and Ducky Darlings and The Wool Chemist. There were more show colourways in Glasgow. I just couldn't rehome them all. I picked my favourites and I set a budget and I got the ones that I wanted. I have one last thing to show you today, and it is my Halloween countdown box from Beehive Yarns. And it's based on Wednesday, the Netflix programme. So if you have got this box and you haven't started opening it yet, look away now. I am going to say the colour names, but you've probably already opened the card with the colour names on it anyway, because it was at the top of the box. But I am going to show the yarn. And here it is. I've just popped it onto a knitting needle, the ones that I've opened so far. Some of them I've put little labels on because I was having a wee clean up and I found some labels from an old advent calendar. And I thought, right, I'm going to pop them on to keep the colours right, but I need to look at more labels for the other ones. I had 1, 2, 3 and 5, so I've popped them on. So I've popped them onto the yarn. So this was number 1. This was the first one. It started along here. I feel like this knitting needle's bending. The yarn's heavier than I thought it would be. So this one here is number 1. That was day 1, and it is called Allergic to Colour. This one here was day 2, and this one is called Full of Woe. This one here is day 3, and it's The Most Interesting Plants Grow in the Dark. Then we have number 4, Emotion Equals Weakness. And number 5, Careful, That's My Cold Shoulder. Number 6 is Kill or Be Killed. And then number 7 is The Raven. So that is how they are all looking so far. I started opening mines last Wednesday. Yep, that's right. I started opening my Wednesday calendar on a Wednesday. I've just realised that. And This will run up until the day before Halloween. My 13th day will be the day before Halloween, but I've got a full skein in that set as well, so I'll open that on Halloween. But I'm just loving how it is looking so far. There we go. The Halloween Countdown box by Beehive Yarns. And that is all I've got to share with you today. I feel like this one's been quite a quick episode, but it has only been 2 weeks since I last filmed, and hopefully it won't be long until I do the next one. Maybe I'll have finished my Leith cardigan by then, and I could wear it, couldn't I? That would be good. Thanks for watching today, and hopefully it won't be too long before I can come on and chat to you again. Okay, see you soon. Bye.